Welcome to the desk of the executive director, and we're not at the desk, and we are two executive directors.
Yes.
Ed Bagby is the executive director of Restore in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I said that with my Jersey accent, right? Which you don't really have much of it. Yeah. What's that?
You said Ed with Linwood.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And we're really happy to have him here today because he has brought a group from Restore to do some rehab, building work here, to work for an individual that's living in poverty. Yeah. And most of the individuals that are here with Restore are first immigrants, right?
The parents, the parents are first immigrants.
And beautiful group of people, unusual group of people for us because usually our volunteers come from churches, and they're usually not first immigrants. They're usually have been in this country for a while, right? And so I think it's a really fascinating group, and I think I've tried to learn, and I've tried to interact with as many as I could just to learn a bit about them, a bit about their culture. And I think your program director was telling me she had restaurants, Colombian restaurant and Ecuadorian food. It was really fascinating talking to her. And then they brought their young people too.
We brought our young Restore's after school program. And originally it was going to be, Amena is our program director and I'm the executive director. So we had after this week, we're going to go and enjoy the area and explore and look at civil rights, walk where civil rights have been before.
The Mississippi Civil Rights
Museum and different things. So we said, we'll take 5 boys, 5 girls, and we have 2 places afterwards, and then that's it. And then as the parents found out about it and getting information, they said, "Can we go?
Oh wow!
Can we go?" And then the big brother and sisters, "Can I go? Can I go?"
Yeah.
And so it's when it just kept growing. And I said, as long as you guys can raise they don't have the funds to do it. Some what it costs to come here for one person might be what they make for a month.
Right.
And when they saw that, they're like, how are we going to do this? I said, we have fundraisers, we have donors, you need to participate, and do what you can give-wise, but there's no set limit, there's no amount, but participation is a must. And so we all participated in fundraisers and writing to donors and thanking people, and the funds came through. And so as they say, "Can I join you?" I said, "We got the money. Let's go. Let's go." That's how it happened.
Well, it's interesting too because one of the first things you said to me was these people want to give back, right? These individuals want to give back, and they're giving back, and don't have a lot of means themselves.
Yeah.
And then are going to be here for another week, kind of like Mr. Bagby said, is to kind of experience the Mississippi Civil Rights Movement, potentially Emmett Till Interpretive Center, and some other kind of Mississippi.
Emmett Till, Medgar Evers.
Yep. His house is up in Jackson.
We're going to go see that. The Civil Rights Museum. We're going to eat at a place. I try to make it more of a Latin flavor because we have the majority are from Central Americans. So I said, let's make it a Latin flavor. We'll do the African American soul food while we're here and get them into that, And then I thought there's a Vietnamese, which I had a roommate in college who was a Vietnamese. So I wanted to, go back and, some of the flavors that he introduced me to.
Are you going to go to Vietnamese here?
I would like to.
We've got a great one.
Yeah, I would like to. I don't know if we have a free day. So I might make that my free day with my group. They go there, the adventurous ones.
Yeah, right? Oh, I think that's great.
So what I like about this trip is that what you were saying, most of the time we are the people, the neighborhood that people come to help. And we see from good folks. But what we wanted to see happen with especially the young people, and as the families got involved uniquely, is that we're going to be the givers. We're going to be the people that come with our gifts and our talents. And I was just speaking to the director, the program director all the conflicts that comes with being from all different backgrounds, and give to others in need. Some of the people we're giving to, honestly, are the same needs, different scenarios, but the same kind of needs that they faced in their own lives. You know, we have people who were in and out of homelessness. We have people who are facing disease, cancer. We do have that in this group, you know. And with all that, they still said we want to go and be a part of it and do. And so it's a powerful statement, I think, about how God can use who we consider the disadvantaged, you know, and how, you know, it just turns it upside down.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting reflection, because Restore is really creating, and it's in a very, it sounds like Elizabeth has changed a lot, right?
Yeah.
As far as culturally and the dynamics of that community. And you're creating kind of a new community out of multiple communities, like you said, the challenges of people from different cultures coming together, different nationalities, different races. And I find that actually at the Micah Day Center and with the population we work with, because we find that the people that are unsheltered oftentimes want to give back as much as they've been given to. And if we as people living in this land of plenty would learn to give out of our abundance, or to give out of our resources, or even to give out of our lack, because I think sometimes the richer people get, the more they're like they hoard what they have, because we know that philanthropically, actually, Mississippi is, I think, the most philanthropic state. So people here, because we're also the poorest state that live in poverty, give more to philanthropy and give to organizations than rich, wealthy states, right?
More gratitude.
More gratitude, right? It comes out of a heart of gratitude.
And it really is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I always joke to our donors, you know, like we're a small organization, and donations were how we were supported. And so I go to the P.O. box, I open it up, and I get the big name folks, or the suburbs, they get $5,000 a year. I'm like, whew, you know, so thankful. But I have the folks who give $50 a year, $100 a year, and sometimes I'm like, the widow's mite.
Yeah.
But I understand, especially this year more than ever, that our families sacrifice to be here. Some of them, you know, they don't get paid if they don't come to work. Some of them, they're starting their own businesses, as you know, in immigration, and so that's a big deal to shut down for a week, because they want the whole family to be here and the experiences with their children. So it's a sacrifice that maybe folks from a more wealthier community, even a mid-sized community, may not grasp at first. I know I didn't until we started trying to figure out how to get them here. And what were the barriers? It wasn't just the fact of money. It was about what do we do? Who do we say no to? You know?
Yeah.
It's just amazing that you don't think of it in that way. You know? So besides the money that they came through, it was like their personal sacrifice that made a statement that they wanted to be here and to serve and to do. They had a purpose, a direct, real purpose.
So were those your kind of personal learnings? What have you had some personal awarenesses or learnings since you've been here for yourself?
Yes.
Because you haven't done this with this particular group before, right?
We did this with the group a long time ago. Very traditional, myself and an adult with 5 students, and that was it. And it was a great learning experience. This was including the families, it was just a process to go through, building deeper trust than what we had, because, you know, we have one family, we only have one child who's here underage without a parent or a big brother, you know, and that was the mother I never thought would let her daughter go. That they are like, you know, that's my baby,
Yeah.
stuff like that. The brother couldn't go because he had to work. He's in college, first year, and so he said he can't get off. He has to, things like that. But they trusted, So it was learning how to do that. Also understanding that even though they're Latino, they're from different countries, and that meant there's little differences that we had to recognize, in food, in the way that I approach them, in the way that they look at me as the director. I'm the person in charge, and whatever I say goes, as opposed to let's come together and think about this and dialogue. It's very helpful to have Imena, who is Latina from Ecuador, first generation. So she does a lot of reinterpreting to me. She helps me state and then see the things that, we could do. And it could be the simplest things that I can make a mistake on that would be not a big barrier, but can impede the process, and if I'm not aware of it and willing to walk through it, no matter how simple it might seem to me to walk through it, it could become bigger, and so those are the kind of things I'm learning. It was easier with the children because I was the adult also, but adult to adult, I didn't want to be I'm the boss and you're the employee relationship, or I'm the one who was the homeowner and you're the one who was the I don't know what you call the person now, they clean the house.
Oh yeah.
The keeper.
Housekeepers.
The housekeeper.
Yeah.
I didn't want that kind of relationship they might have been used to with the person in authority. I don't want to be, what do you want? Oh, what? In this case, you're the authority.
Yeah.
You're the authority. Like the issue we have with cleanliness.
Yeah.
The woman, I should say woman, but the mother worked in a hospital setting, and she didn't know what she did, but my assumption is she's not the doctor or the nurse. That's my assumption. So she's probably cleaning up and all the spills and personal things, the fluids, all that kind of stuff. So she's more aware of it. And I said, oh, now I understand a lot better what the issue is and with safety. And she said, I can't tell them. I said, no. You're the expert. You know more than I do.
Yeah.
You're the one that can help this group be better in the years after we're gone. You're making an impact.
Yeah.
Let's create this the best way to communicate what you're saying, and that's how we did that.
Yeah.
Say you're the one, and that's the empowering. And that's the thing that I'm hoping that attitude, at least with our group, continues when we go back.
Yeah.
Continue to go back, and with Imeta and I. We were just talking before you came here about this and what we're learning, and because we went to, our two partnerships added to our group is NAACP, which is African American, and there's another youth group, a youth serving group in Elizabeth Presbyterian Center, which is in the black neighborhood, and the one that's changing, but they're still very strong, reaching out to the black neighborhood. And I said, when those children come and those parents come, we're building a foundation how to interact and how to cross those barriers and how to bring people together. I said, this is what we're doing here that was unexpected, But I said, so we're bringing back with some skills that we didn't have, and we probably would not. We could have took all their development, professional development that we could, and got the lingo down. But we're in the field and we're learning.
Feel as much real life.
Yeah, we're learning, and we can bring these skills. We need to articulate it and figure out what it is, and figure out we get better at it. But we have to have the beginnings of being able to bring in, the African American group.
Because you're doing what I think needs to be done in this country, needs to be done globally, right? Learning to communicate. So you're not just having your evening Restore events. Now you're actually together. You're traveling together. You're living together. You're creating together, right? And you're learning how to dialogue and how different cultures approach things differently. Like what an amazing opportunity.
How to relax.
Yeah.
Not how to try to control it all. You
right.
know, how to relax, control it all, and find out what's the best for that moment that we can get, that we can bring and help us right now, and help us. And we just thought about this is going to help us
when you're back.
When we're back
in Elizabeth. You bet.
Yeah. We do have, you're just seeing the majority Central and South American, but we do have Haitian students and families. We have Muslim students and families, small group, and we have a small group of African American students and families. The majority is Latino.
And it was interesting because at one point you said something about the Haitian individuals don't want to be considered African American, they don't want to be considered black, right? And it was fascinating because I lived in Haiti for 3 summers, and after you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I get that, right?
Yeah.
It's a very...
and again, I always tell people this is my impression.
Yeah.
I don't have statistics and research behind me, but just talking to professional people from when I used to, before I retired, and folks in the community, they say that, we came here with the same as other immigrant folks to make a difference and to build our life. And then we could clump with this civil rights, African American, the racist, the prejudice, and we have to adopt that too. And of course, as I see the leaders now, and people get to know and talk and dialogue, we do share a lot.
Yeah.
But initially, I don't want to be too related to that because that means I got to deal with all the other stuff that comes with that, But yeah, that's definite there. In order for us to, let me know if I talk too much.
Oh no.
in order for us to, when restores relationships where cultures are intentional. It wasn't something that just happened.
Intentionality is important, folks.
Yeah,
it's important.
It was based on our faith, and what we believe. That we all created in the image of God. What we believe about what happened in the Book of Acts, as the church was transitioning from a predominantly Jewish understanding Christianity to here come these Gentiles.
And the Jews and the Gentiles pushed back against each other in the early church.
Yes.
Do we have to follow the Jewish laws?
Mm-hmm.
We think you need to, Greeks.
And one thing I'm learning, my personal devotion book of Mark, and for the first time, Mark, and I read it all the time.
First gospel written, and it's the simplest, and I think it's the most authentic.
Yeah. And I see Jesus, and I figured out. I looked at a map. He's in Gentile area.
Yeah.
And he's staying in Gentile area. He goes all the way up to another Gentile area. And then he goes down, but he doesn't go through the Jewish area into the Greek area. And he's doing ministry and seeing people. And I said,
he's crossing borders.
I always was taught this happened in Acts. It was a new thing in Acts. But Jesus was doing this from the very beginning, folks. You just wasn't listening,
Jesus was a radical border crosser.
He sure was. And
cultural crosser. All of it.
All of that. It goes back. I from my college days, when I went to college, I was first generation to go to college. I know it was a sociology class or whatever class it was. It talked about the thesis and the antithesis.
Yeah.
They come together, they bump, they join, and then you have something new.
Yeah.
I could go, this thesis.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of the antithesis, the thesis and the antithesis, but it's something new.
Right.
It's something new. It's something new was created. And that always stuck in my mind when I was in campus ministry, but really now that there is the old way of looking at things and doing things. And I usually Restore, when I first started, it was predominantly black. It was all boys with men. It was Bible study, just a little bit of trips, so we didn't have a lot of money. And then as the neighborhood changed, as the sounds, the music coming out of the neighborhood, the smells,
the restaurants, the food.
The restaurants. As that changed, I could have stayed with the comfortable black kids that I was working with that I love and they love me, or I could say, how am I going to make something different happen?
Well, you stretched yourself, you expanded yourself, created something new.
Creating something new. And with that creation, the antithesis was tension. It was, why are you doing this? The black teachers love the community, love kids. They so why can't you just have this for our kids? The pressure in that way, And I'm like, things are changing. It's not just, it wasn't so much the kids, it was the adults.
I think anything new comes out of a pressure cooker, right?
Yeah, pressure cooker. Even my own church, as the kids from the street, at that time it was street kids, start coming to church. Do they mix with the church kids? I don't want my kids with these kids.
Right. You're going to influence them.
When they came to church, and they didn't know anything about church. They just was crazy. And at the end of church, your kids. I said, wait a minute. When they're in here, they're not my kids. So y'all going to have to fix this.
Yeah.
Because I'm leaving the room. What are we doing? I said, what do you do with your own children in church? They sit with you. So become grandmoms and grandpas. They were older people. And have them kids sit with you.
Yeah.
I'll be there and I'll give them that stern look, But you have them sit with you and you make sure that happens. This is your problem, not mine on Sunday. Monday through Friday is my problem to keep this building in order. Sunday, this is your problem. So don't come to me with this. And the pastor was very much for me. I couldn't do it without him.
It's interesting how churches have a system and a culture, right? And what's permitted and not permitted. I had the church I was pastoring in Phoenix. For some reason, we had a whole row of autistic youth that suddenly started appearing. They sat in the back. We had music, drums, guitars. Mm-hmm. They'd start pounding on the pews it's what they did. It's what they do. Right. They're experiencing, right? They're experiencing the divine in their own way.
Right.
Some of those folks, good church folks, turning around like scowling.
Yeah.
I had to ball them out and say, look, these are the people that are here, that God has brought here. And they're going to experience and express the divine in their own way, right? And if that means belting something out or screaming during a song or even during the sermon, so be it, right? And it's learning from each other. It's experiencing.
The one who surprised us the most was Mr. Clayton. And at the time he retired at 65, and he said, Linwood, he was an avid biker. Everywhere. And he said, how would you like your kids like to go biking? If you get some bikes together, I'd like to start a bike club.
Oh, wow.
And we did that for 10 years. He said, and the only reason he said, I'm 75, I think I need to slow down. He really didn't slow down, but as far as being involved, and he would organize, and he had extra parts, because we had old bikes that always broke down. He'll fix them, and we always go take the kids everywhere. It was an amazing time. And he said that he said, I stopped going to church because my kids, my grandkids, everybody left. He said, I go now because I think the kids need to see me there too. And it was just, and he would always, he was a, I hope when he sees this, he'll understand what I'm saying. He would say, these kids, oh my goodness, look at them. They'll just ride all over the place, you know what I mean? And then during lunch, he'll say, so where do you want to go next week?
Yeah, that's great.
And I was like, you love these kids, And they would always tell the new ones that we can go with something else. Go to the new ones, he said, he might be old, but you're not going to outbike him.
Oh my gosh.
You're not going to outbike him. That's Mr. Clayton. They still talk about him.
Yeah.
And we haven't had the bike club. He's 82, 83. Wow. And those kids who were involved at that time still talk about him. So we transitioned from a Bible study kind of a group to after school, more so of bike club and those kind of things. Yeah. To now it is somewhat traditional homework center, but we have arts, all kinds of arts, connecting kids to their culture. We have a justice every week. They have a topic of justice that they are looking into. And or justice, or one more thing, I can't think of it. Oh no, I did. I did the thread. So community building, and we still do community building through online. We celebrate birthdays. So Amena and I and whoever else has a car, we go to each person's house and deliver the candy from like movie candy, the cans of soda, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the parent buy the birthday cake for the kid. We go online, we sing happy birthday, we talk about, we celebrate, and then we watch a movie together.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, we do. That's the kind of things that they do. That they break up the small groups to talk to kids, and so we still have that, and it's growing amazingly. COVID started that, and there were things that we kept, but we add on our live is our art, which is all different kind of arts and music and dance and things like that.
Well, I'm so appreciative of what you do and what you're doing with Restore, right? Because you're bringing change. You're being the change we all want to see. Thank you, Gandhi, and you're really bringing cultures and peoples together.
Yeah.
And so Linwood really appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
What you continue to do, and thank you for being a part of the fabric of Biloxi, Mississippi for a time.
We are loving being here and seeing their work.
Yeah.
If I go back to the beginning, they came for a purpose. They didn't know exactly what it's going to be, but once they saw it, they just really, from the kitchen to feeding people to the actual house.
Yeah.
They just really focus on it and wanting to finish and feeling really proud and thankful and humbled at the same time.
That's beautiful.
At the same time.
And they were here during one of our rainiest periods
Oh
ever.
my goodness.
And today it's kind of clear right now.
Yeah.
So,
oh my goodness.
So thank you for being here, and thank you for giving back and for your giving. As a speech therapist, right, working in schools.
Yeah, I retired.
Back.
I retired. I celebrated.
Oh, you haven't retired?
No. I retired. Purposely retired from speech therapy so I could do this.
Nobody retires from the work of justice, right?
Nobody.
Thank you much. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we are signing off, and hope that you have a great day. Blessings to you.